Go live. Go live. Checking the connection. All right, cool. It says I'm live. I am also going live on YouTube, so bear with me as I get this thing going. And look at this camera. Hello, happy Saturday. Hopefully this is coming in okay. This is my very first time streaming with what's called a black magic. So I'll hold it up here. You can kind of see all the lights flickering. This is the Blackmagic i10 Mini Pro. And essentially what it allows you to do is it allows you to stream from your high quality camera. So hopefully the audio is okay. The audio is still coming in through this mic. So I'm hoping that we're good there. It says I've got a great connection. So we're going to go. This is going to be a little bit different than like my normal live streams. I had been doing a lot of live streams in the past. Let me pull up my comments over here because otherwise I'm going to have to keep looking over here because I see Tacinda is here. Hello, Tacinda. And Creative Raven. Hello. Glad to have you here. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up the comments here so that I don't have to keep like looking over this way. I'm also live on Instagram just because why not? I'm still trying to like get the hang of doing the live stream on I use a streaming platform called Restream, and it'll stream to like Facebook and YouTube and all the places, LinkedIn, all that stuff. But with this new Blackmagic switcher, I'm still learning how to use it. So I'm like only live on YouTube right now, which is fine. But anyways, this is gonna be a little bit different than the old live streams. You guys remember the old live streams that I did? Old as in like I just stopped doing them like less than a month ago. Before, what I was doing was I had like a specific topic, and I always felt like I had to deliver like 3 specific bullet points, and really try to come and teach something just mind-blowing. And what I've learned over the past couple of weeks as I've been sort of developing my new offers, my new programs, and so on and so forth, is that I was placing a lot more pressure on myself than I needed to. I was putting essentially a lot of pressure on myself to perform. And not only was it preventing me from really connecting the way that I wanted to, but I feel like it was also not as effective as like it could have been, because I kept trying to figure out like what are the 3 special tips that you need. And the thing is that you need more than 3 special tips. So, so I figured today what we could do, which is why I want to bring the chat up. What's going on, Revlon? Happy Saturday. I wanted to chat, and Tokyo's here. Hello, Rodian Mark, Daphne Wans. Say hello as you're coming in on IG also. What I wanted to do was I wanted to talk about a couple of things. So first I want to talk about 5-figure offers, because I've had a realization that has been part of this whole journey for me. Second thing, I want to talk about niche switching. So I have to pronounce it niche in order for it to work there. So I want to talk about niche switching and like, what does it look like if you feel like there's a new area that you want to move into? Like, what does that look like? Which, that might not be applicable to everyone, but I'll be sharing a little bit of my story as well. And then the third thing that I wanted to talk about was, what's happened, which I guess will kind of tie into everything. So firstly, if you're new here, you don't know who I am. Hello, my name is LaTisha Styles. I am the founder of You've Got Clients, where we help coaches, experts, authors, speakers, thought leaders, people with a big vision to share, to clarify their message, create a 5-figure offer, build their coaching programs, create systems that work for them, all of the things. And me in particular, my superpower is helping clients to shift the subconscious blocks that are preventing them from reaching their full potential. So that's one thing that I'll say. Like, I've always been very grounded in that, in my thing. Like, what do I offer and what do I bring? So what I want to share with you is I want to share a little bit of the story. What's going on, Arva? LaKeisha's here. Susan, hello. I'm trying to log in so I can pull my comments up here. So give me a second, because you have to create super long passwords, and if I don't type this the right way, like, I have hand memory for my password, and see, I didn't even get it right. If I don't type it the right way, I don't remember the password. All right. So I guess the first thing that I'll share is the beginning of everything. So if you haven't seen the video, I did like a live stream on Instagram where I had come to my final realization that I was done. I was done with, only partially sharing my message. I was done with playing small. I was done with like surface level content. I was so tired of, like I said at the beginning, like just feeling like I had to do, 3 ways to do XYZ. I was just like really over it. And I have felt like for the last year or so, and I've been going back through my content, and I recognize that it really was like the end of 2021. So it's like 2022 was like practically a lost year for me. But it was really like the end of 2021 where I started feeling this draw, and I started feeling this pull to share more of my message. My message being, you're a powerful creator. You have the ability to create your own version of a lavish life. Like, you deserve to achieve your dreams only if you decide to do whatever it takes to get them. Like, those things that I have been saying over and over and over again, they're all really grounded in the message of your beliefs are what cause your results. Like, your beliefs and your perception is what really cause your results. And so you don't necessarily have to be an entrepreneur in order to take advantage of the change that comes with unlocking, and shifting those subconscious blocks. It doesn't necessarily matter who you are. You just have to be willing to make a change. And so as I started feeling that pull to want to essentially take things to the next level, move to talking more through the root of the matter and really what causes change, I kept feeling this unsteadiness because the products that I sell pay the bills, right? I have a full-time business. I have a W-2 salaried employee, which is me, and all the income that comes in through the business eventually flows through to me. I'm the only shareholder right now. So it either flows through to me as W-2 income, or it flows through to me at the end of the tax year as the profit. And then I end up paying a different tax rate on that. So I pay a tax rate on the whatever comes through on that Schedule K-1. So the point being, there was a fear there. There was a fear there that if I let go of everything that I've known that has worked in the past, am I going to be able to survive? And so that's part of the reason why I titled this the way that it is. Now they're asking me to do 2-step verification, but my phone is broadcasting, so I have to enter one of my backup codes. So hang on a second. Let me get this. All right. So I got to use that. All right. It's crazy because I don't know, like, I guess I restarted this laptop or whatever it is. So now I got to go to YouTube. I'm just trying to get the comments, y'all, so I can see what you're saying, so I don't have to keep looking over here. Because Peaches is here. Hello, Peaches. Carolyn is here. Hello. Now, happy Saturday. Laquita is here. Hello. Welcome. I'm just trying to get these comments pulled up. But this is also the other reason why I was saying that before, like, I would have been so stressed. I would have been very stressed about, like, oh man, the comments are not going and it's not working. And, like, am I doing it right? And all this, that, and the other. And I've just let all of that go, which has been part of the freedom. And that's what I want to share with you. So how do I go to YouTube? Do I go to YouTube Studio here, live? I think if I join it, I don't want to view the live control room, do I? Yes. Okay, here we go. Tawanda is here. All right. Now we're rocking and rolling. Sorry if the mic picked up on that. Extraordinara. Welcome. Okay, now we're good. So going back to the beginning. So like I said, I realized it was really like the end of 2021 where I determined it's time for me to really get behind my message. And I was scared. The main reason that I was scared is because everything that I've been doing that I know that works, that revenue comes from selling my products, services, selling the coaching. My main product and offer was the Path to Six Figures, which is still like a really great program. I still really like the program, but it's still kind of surface level in terms of what you really need to succeed. It really only talks about like the strategy. It talks about the systems. It covers everything. It's everything that I did to reach my first six figures in business. And at the same time, there were other things that I did. Like there was a lot of mindset shifting that I did. There was a lot of other subconscious things that I did. And generally speaking, like when I work with clients, either one-on-one or if they happen to like show up at every call and actually share like the thoughts that are going and we can actually work on those things, those are the clients who have always gotten the best results. And so I was like, well, do I let go of the Path to Six Figures? Because, everyone says sell one program. And it was like, there was all of this mind talk for me about, I can't even, like, LaTisha, what are you doing? You can't even sell one program. Like first you had this program, then you had that program, and now you have this program and it's going really well and it's selling and people are enrolling and clients are getting results. And what's your problem? So I was just like, there was a lot of doubt there. There was a lot of fear there. Like, what if I let that go? Then I had all of my individual courses and programs that were kind of like on demand. So things that I sell at like $27, $400, some things that I sell at like $1,000, just like different price points here and there. And all of those things were contributing to this multi-six-figure business. In 2019 was when I hit my first six-figure year. I did little over 100K that year. Then I more than doubled it the next year. I did 250. And then the year after that, I went to 314. And it's like the business has continued to grow with the things that I was doing. And then last year, so being very transparent with you, last year, which was 2022, which was the year that I realized that I needed to go all in my message. And I was feeling that like pull of like, be clear in your message. Don't waver. And then this fear that was like, well, but this thing is already working. So 2022, my income actually dipped and it wasn't that bad. It went down to like 250. So it's like still multi six figure, but I knew there was like a lot that was just like energetically, there was a lot that was just off that year. And I remember thinking like, man, like it was like I was walking up the hill in the wrong direction. I just felt like I kept pushing and pushing and pushing. And I was like, why is this not doing what it was before? Like this thing is not working and that thing is not working. And like at the same time that I was kind of complaining about it, there was this thought that kept saying, but you know what you're supposed to be doing, right? You know what you're supposed to be doing, right? I already told you what you're supposed to be doing. You know what you're supposed to be doing. So let me just try to get your attention another way, which is the money. And it did. It got my attention. And so finally, I was like, okay, at the start of this year, I was like, okay, great. I'm going to move into really being clear in my message and really speaking to the client that I desire to speak to, the person who understands that it's not just the strategy, it's not just the tactics, it's also the mindset, but not just like mindset from a like, oh, I changed my mind, I changed my life. Not from that perspective, from the perspective of there are cycles that I will continue to go through. And every time I'm ready to level up, there's going to be new challenges at that level. And I'm ready to not only learn the frameworks that I need so I can continue to level up, but I'm ready to work with someone who can help me with those things. And then everything else also gets to work. The business gets to work. My health and wellness gets to work. My relationships get to work. Like all of those things get to work as a result of me doing the real work that I'm here to do. And so as I decided to go into that, I really intentionally shifted my messaging and started really speaking more to that. So in February, I made a decision that caused me to really stop and reflect. I made a decision to bet on myself and say, I'm going all in with this. And when I made that decision, and the book that I have been writing, it's called Assume the Throne. That book, the words had been just halted for the longest time. Like the book was just sitting there in an outline format. And it was like the words just started flowing. And I just started like writing to the point where I practically finished the book. I almost finished it. And then I was like, well, I really want it to be better. And so I really want this book to be like a category defining book. So I decided to take a step back, and I'm working on it now and really developing it. But like that decision and that choice to say, this is what I'm going to choose. Like I'm going to choose to back myself. That choice allowed me to start moving forward. So with that said, for those of you who are on Instagram and saw me kind of do the whole, I started crying, which is, I'm not normally an emotional person. I'm always like the happy-go-lucky, like, yay, everything is good, everything is great. What's going on, Chris? And I was just really talking about that I not only wanted to share with my clients that they need to back themselves, but I was like, well, what about you, LaTisha? Like you get to back yourself too. Like you get to step into your greatness. You get to go to your next level. You get to assume the throne. Like you're worth it also. And so as I was sharing that story, there was like a drag that I was feeling, which was the weekly live streams where I felt like I had to like show up and do this thing and say this thing and perform. And like, there's this whole like doodah and spiel. And I was like, I need to just let it go. And I was also holding on to the monthly memberships. So I had a YouTube channel membership, which some of you were channel members. Thank you so much for your support. But I had like this channel membership, which was tied to the live streams. And so it was like every week I would do a new live stream. I would do it for free live, and then I would lock it away in the vault. And then you could join the vault, which was $2.99. And you could, get all of the live streams. And I realized that the whole energy of the live streams was the energy of where I was before. And so I had to cut off the weekly live streams and like literally just say, I'm not doing these anymore, because I couldn't transition into I didn't feel like I could transition into, this is what I want to talk about, with still the old framework, right? The old framework, the old idea. I had to just like release it and just give myself space and time to think, which is what I've been doing over the last couple of weeks. And then I also decided to get rid of the membership option. So I literally went into YouTube and just like canceled the membership. So if you look at the revenue that comes from the channel, there's like this huge dip where it's like, hey, all these people who were paying you, we're not billing them. So therefore, like, here's the dip in your revenue. And it was scary. Like, it was really scary. I was at this place, and I've talked about this already, where it was like there was this next level for me to go to, and I still had one foot here. And so I was very shaky. And now I'm in a place where I am much more solid as I like continue to back myself at this level. Like I'm pulling the foot off of here where I can be at my next level and be solid. And this is the process of assuming the throne. This is the process. The process is you first decide what you want. You choose what you want. You declare it and decree and say, this is what I desire. This is what I want. And then you prepare to ascend. And there's a couple of things that you have to do in order to make that happen. I won't go into all of that because I'll be teaching that later. And then from there, you fill your court. So you got, the people who support you. You got your mentors. You got your loved ones, your family and friends, like who supports you on this journey. And there's steps that you need to do there. And then finally, you assume the throne. And so that process of assuming the throne is not a one-time process. Why? Because at every level, you're going to have new obstacles, new opportunities, new things that you are going to have to work through, and those same blocks that came up before, they're going to come up again, but you're just at a different level and you're able to recognize those. So once I realized that this is where I was going, I let go of the energy of the old live streams and the feeling that I had to like show up and have a specific topic and 3 things to XYZ or whatever. I just let those go. I really started doing some inner work and saying, like, who do I actually want to work with? What clients really light me up? And I started thinking through clients that I've worked with in the past and the things that we worked on that I got really, really excited about. So a perfect example is a client who came to the Royal Retreat. When she came to the retreat, we really got a chance to work through like some subconscious blocks and conversations and things that she knew she was meant to do. Like she knew that there was a new level she was meant to go to, but there was things that were holding her back, and we worked on those things that were holding her back. And she was able to make it to that next level. She started selling her program with daily sales. She received a new relationship, which ended up becoming her husband. And so like all areas, not just how do we put a sales funnel in place. Another client that I worked with, we worked on raising his rates, but really getting clear on like the transformation and like the things that are in the way of that transformation. And he was able to double his rates and then book clients at the new rate. So the clients that get the best results with me are like, basically they're already running. They're already on a train. They're already moving. They're in the process of moving. They're not trying to, start a coaching business from scratch, which is a lot of the marketing that I have been doing in the past. They've already got the process going. And what they really need at this point is they need to get to their next level. So, they've been selling at a level that feels comfortable, but they really want to be at the next level. They've been kind of talking about like maybe surface level, but they really want to, really dive deeper and really create powerful messaging that like moves people. And they really want to pull all those things together, and they don't know quite how to do it. And so those are the clients that I desire to work with. So as I started thinking about that, some of the things as I'm going back through all of my YouTube videos and watching them and really starting to think like, what do I have that speaks to that? And if there's anything that doesn't speak to that, we either need to like get rid of it or recognize that it's at a specific part of the funnel. So I hope this is helping you guys. Okay, good. This message is for me. All right, awesome. I can't feature the comments because I'm not using Restream over here, but you guys that are on YouTube, you can see your comments. And if you're on IG, you can see your comments. Oh, hey, Matt. Terrell is here. Hello. Danny is here. Lots of familiar faces. Sasseries, welcome. Byron. Hello. Zillionaire. Welcome. I'm live on YouTube as well. So if you want to come in there and like comment and chat, you can. So what is the process of like niche switching? And my process has been, I recognize that I'm not necessarily switching niches, which was huge for me because I thought, okay, if I'm going to share my message, like the only thing I'm sharing is like, you deserve to, achieve your dreams. The only thing I'm sharing is it's time for you to assume the throne and step into your next level and stop playing small. And the thing is like, yes. And there's also a practical side to that. Like, who am I working with? Who can I help get the best results? But not only that, who are the people that are most motivated to do this? And as I started thinking about that, I'm like, okay, once you choose to assume the throne, once you decide to like step up and stop playing small and really like step into that next level of yourself, like what happens? Well, as a result, you typically start charging more. You typically stop working with clients who drain you. You typically upgrade your marketing, your branding. You typically start getting visible. And so as I started thinking through those things, I was like, oh, I don't have to let go of you've got clients. You've got clients can be exactly what I say it gets to be, which is I can still help you get clients, but we're doing it from a different level now. We're not doing it from a surface level. And so as I started recognizing that, I was like, okay, well, I know the clients that I want to work with, they want to have a 5-figure offer, and they can. They don't just want to sell a $3,000 coaching product or a $2,000 course because someone said this is how you sell a $2,000 course or a $3,000 or a $5,000 coaching product. They want to be at the top of their game. They want to achieve all of that potential or at least get close to it. And they have a fear, right? But they also recognize that there's greatness inside of them. Why? Because they're attracted to me. If they're attracted to me, there's something that they see in me that's reflected in them, meaning it's already there. It's already there in them, and they're seeing it reflected back to them. And as I started thinking through this process, I got really clear on, okay, LaTisha, how do you buy? What do you like to buy? What's that process like for you? How do you know when there's something that you definitely want to do that you're like, oh yeah, this is it for me? And as I started thinking through it, I recognized that I am a premium buyer. I'm the type of person that I will go for whatever the VIP package is, and I'm going to strive for it, even if it feels a little bit out of range, even if it feels like, that's a little bit of a stretch. And it's not because of the pricing. It's because I understand, this is for me, I understand that when I tell myself, you are the person who flies first class, you are the person who buys the VIP package, you are the person who purchases this, it's more so me making a declaration to myself. So as I started thinking through that, I'm like, okay, great. Well, because I know that that's who I am, those are probably the clients that I'm going to attract. And wouldn't you know it, I started attracting those clients. Like as soon as I was like, okay, I'm done with all the surface level stuff. I'm only going to focus on the people who I know I can help, which is the people who are similar to me. Like we know what we want, and when we see it, we take action on it. So why am I trying to like drag people and pull people and try to force them to sign up for like some $97 thing when I know as a VIP person, like I wouldn't buy the $97 thing. That's just me. I just wouldn't. Why? Because I know that I deserve more. And it's like, so with this in mind, I had to start kind of rearranging my marketing and really kind of shifting my message so I could reach those people. And it's not necessarily like just like putting it out there is what's going to attract those people to you. It's you getting clear and valid in what you deserve and what is meant for you. And that causes you to shine brighter and shine brighter to the people who are already ready to sign up. Okay. So the people who have already signed up for the program, they didn't come through a funnel, right? Like they were attracted to me. And so I said this in my Instagram stories the other day, and I was like, I'm just really grateful and thankful because one of the biggest fears that I had was, once again, if I let go of all the stuff that I used to sell and the ways that I used to sell it and start selling in this new way, like, is all the money just going to stop? And I'm very happy to say that I've sold several 5-figure offers, which is very, very exciting to me. But more so is that the clients that I'm working with are like soulmate clients. Like these are people who I'm like, yes, you get it. You understand it. Like it's not just the surface level. Like you understand that there's things deeper than this. Like they're so, there's nothing else I can say other than like, I'm lit up to work with them. They're lit up to work with me. And like the money is just, this is what needs to happen in order for us to work together. It's like, that's it. There's no like pulling and like overcoming objections and stuff like that. So that whole process has been really, really cool for me to see like what happens when you back yourself and when you choose to speak your message. Like the money is a byproduct of that. And I've said it before and I believed it. And at the same time, I was like still scared because I was like, okay, well, I have to see this for myself also. And it's there. That's the cool thing. So the 5-figure offer conversation that I wanted to have on this live stream was that if you have a message to share and you're very, very clear on the person that you want to share that message with, not like my target demographic or, in general, they're XYZ, like not that, like a very clear, like this is the individual, it's going to be that much easier for you to attract that person because you can speak directly to them. And this is something that, people say in marketing circles, like they say it all the time, but there really is a power from getting very, very clear on the person from like an energetic standpoint rather than just the demographics of, XYZ, who this person is. Hello, Kathy. Susan's here. Hello. Hey, June. Glad to have you here. Cool. Okay, good. So that's the first thing that I wanted to share. Second thing that I wanted to share is, like I said, niche switching, which what I've realized is that I am a human being. You're like, what, LaTisha? You should have already known that. But the thing is that like, I'm not selling myself. I'm not selling myself as, work with me and I'm the magic person to help you. I'm not. I'm selling the outcome. I'm selling the proceeds, what comes as a result of understanding all of these things, XYZ. So as I learned that, what I realized is that number one, I need to stop trying to run. I'm a sprint type worker. I'm the type of person who, when there's something that I want to do, like I'm going to plot it down. I got my notebook over here and all the other stuff, so I won't pick it up, but I'm going to plot it down, and then I'm just going to like run. And then not even pay attention to like all the stuff that's happening, like dust is, coming out. It's like, no, I'm just going to run until it's done. And what I realized during this process is that, number one, I don't have to run. It's like, stop wearing yourself out. So one of the things that I'm doing is, as I'm developing the group-based offer, which is going to be the Assume the Throne Mastermind, there's a couple of components to it. So the first component is what I call the 7-figure messenger incubator. That process is, okay, let's help you get clear on your message, help you get clear on, what you desire to do, how you desire to bring it to the world, and really like how business should work for you, and really take you through those steps of dream, decide, do. And I'm telling you, like when I went through the curriculum, so I'm delivering it starting tomorrow in a really cool container, which I'll talk about in a second. But like when I went through the curriculum, I was like, oh, this is my book. Dream, decide, do in this section. Okay, great. Now the next section, dream, decide, do. Like every single section has a reason and a purpose, and it's just so clear, and it's just coming together so quickly. So that incubator, that's the one that I've gotten the first couple of clients in. That's the one, that's the 5-figure offer. But I'm delivering the content, like I said, I'm doing it a little bit slower. So the first part of that incubator is, it's like a third of it. So if we imagine the Assume the Throne program is like a 12-month program, it's a 12-month container, because it's not really a program. There's not really teaching that's in it. It's an experience. That's the goal with the Assume the Throne experience. It's us continually leveling up, working on those subconscious blocks that come up, stepping into bigger, receiving greater, choosing that there's more for you. So it's more energetic. And I'm so in love with that container, and I'm super excited to have the first couple of clients to come in that. And then from there, we've got like the first 3 months. So we got a 12-week container, which is the most important things, which is getting clarity on who you are, who you're meant to serve, what is your message, and how can we really, really clarify that. And then also the dream part, which is like, what do you want? Give yourself permission to choose the things that you desire and all of those things. And then there's a process in there where we actually start putting all the pieces in place. Okay. So now if we take one step further back, we say, okay, well, what is the initial process to that? Which is choosing all the things, giving yourself permission, getting clarity. It's essentially like the things that I would take a client through in a discovery call or a clarity call, but it's so much bigger because you have the opportunity to do it over 3 days. So this is called the 7-figure messenger intensive, and it's a 3-day container. I'm delivering it actually this starting tomorrow. So it'll be tomorrow, Monday and Tuesday. And essentially what that is let's get clear on those first pieces. So like I said, it's kind of like what I would take a client through on a discovery call. But even though like a discovery call is only 45 minutes, so you can't really like dive into what do you want? What do you desire? Like, what is your message? What are you called to do? What is like those things, the essence, right? And so I've structured it in a 3-day series. So there's pre-work. There's you also get a copy of the Dream, Decide, Do notebook. So you have like that hard physical book that you have that you can go through, because this is the process. The process has always been Dream, Decide, Do, and that is the process. So as I teach that, I'm like, okay, great. So now we have this. This is our very first piece for clients who are going to come into Assume the Throne. This is the first thing they have to do. Okay, what do they have to do next? Well, the next thing that they have to do is prepare to ascend. So how will I teach that? Well, I'm going to teach that with the existing clients. I'll teach that. We'll turn that into the group program. Once we're done with that group program, okay, great. What is the next step? Well, the next step is to fill your court. All right, great. So how do we teach that? Like, what are those steps in order to do that? So I'll teach that. I'll teach that with the initial clients, our founding members. As soon as we get through with that, we'll have those. The videos will be done. They'll have a chance to ask questions because they're there live. The videos will be done, and then we can move into the final piece, which is assume the throne. And like I said, that's the full year. So the clients that I'm working with are clients who they want press mentions, they want the visibility, but they're scared to have the visibility right now because they know that if they were to get in an interview, they would have no idea what to say because they're not quite clear on like, what is the thing that I'm called to say? It would just be a surface level thing, and that's not like what we're here for, right? So this process for me has been, as I'm taking myself through the process, it's also the process that I am taking my clients on that journey. And it's been really, really cool. And it's also been humbling at the same time, because as I'm learning and as I'm doing and as I'm like, oh yeah, like I said this, like, oh yeah, I did that. It's like everything is all coming together, and that feels really good. So, Crystal says, can you provide the membership link? I'm not sure what membership link you're referring to. So if you're talking about like the YouTube membership, there is no YouTube membership anymore. The videos that were inside of the membership are either published publicly or they're just fully private and they're no longer available because they don't match my new direction and my niche switch, essentially. So some of those videos were good, but they didn't really have the power that I'm here to deliver. And so if they didn't, then I just pulled them down. So I've been reviewing tons of videos, y'all. I've been going through, watching the videos at like 2x speed, cutting out like the beginning where I did the whole, song and dance video, and then cutting out the end, cutting out anything that it just doesn't match anymore, which is awesome. You can do it inside of YouTube, so I don't lose any of those views, and then just publishing it again and letting it go. But if you're referring to tomorrow's intensive, the 7-figure messenger intensive, where I'm going to be going through the three days of the 3 steps in the process of developing your 7-figure message, then yes, I would love for you to join us. I don't have a link prepared. Say hello to the worst marketer ever, right? And this is the thing, like before when I would do live streams, I would always be ready, like, okay, this is what I'm selling, this is what I'm doing, but like, I don't feel the pressure anymore, y'all. Like it feels so good. Like I don't feel the pressure to say like, okay, if I'm gonna go live, this many people are gonna be on, and if this many people are on, and then I share this link, this many people are gonna sign up. Like I know that the people who are meant to be there will be there. And so therefore, I don't have stress around it, which is part of the reason why I didn't have a link ready. But I always do. So if you go to LaTisha.tv, so just go to LaTisha.tv, and if you scroll, you'll see it says 7-figure messenger. And that will take you directly to the shopping cart for the intensive. Like I said, you'll get a copy of Dream, Decide, Do, which is, some of you have already purchased it. There are actually limited copies of this remaining because I just did an initial run, print run. So I think there's only like 30 or 40 left. But if you're one of those 30 or 40, you're going to get a copy of this. So this is the goal planner where it like takes you through, the dream section, decide section. So a lot of the activities that we're going to be doing on day 1 are in here. So some of your pre-work and some of the things we're going to be doing on day 1 are inside of that journal. Then, because that is really only like step 1 of the whole process, then we're going to shift into the next piece of the process, which is getting clarity on your message. Like, what is your 7-figure message? What are you here and called to like shake the world with? Like, what is it that you're meant to deliver? And we're going to really distill that down. We're going to get super clear on what I call your 5-figure clients. And like, I say that and I say like the number, but so I was talking to one of my clients the other day. She ended up increasing her rate. So when she initially came into the Path to 6 Figures program, she thought she was going to charge $3,000. As I've recently stepped into my next level, I started really calling them to greater and saying like, what can you offer and how can you reposition this so it's a 5-figure offer? So she repositioned it so it was a 5-figure offer. She has a 12K and a 25K option, and she already has someone who's like, yes, I'm ready to sign up, and I'm going to bring 4 of my coworkers to sign up as well. And I'm like, oh, well, there you go. That's 6 figures in one launch, not like in a year. And it's like when I stepped into my next level and call my clients to greater, they're able to do greater as well. So that's the second part of what we'll be doing. So pre-work and the initial thing that we'll be doing tomorrow is going to be stuff that's here. Then on Monday is where we're really going to be getting clear on your 7-figure message, the clarity around who is your 5-figure client, whether it's an individual or a corporation or a brand, whether it's the government, like just really getting clear on like who is that person, who is that individual, because regardless of whether it's the government or a corporation or a brand or, you know, just an employee or an entrepreneur, there's always one person that has to make the decision that, well, is charged with making the decision. And maybe there are multiple people who have to feed in, but there's always a human being that you're speaking to. So how do we get really clear on that? So we're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about really positioning your offer, your marketing, all of that, so it can really speak to that person. And then on the final day, we're going to close it out with like, I'm so excited about this, how powerful it is when you not only call your clients to greater, like when you step into and decide to assume the throne, but also when you call your clients to greater. And we're going to be talking through that process of like, what does that look like and how can you do that for your clients? And I'll be sharing with you more of the assume the throne process that I shared a little bit today, but I'll be sharing more of that as well on that training. So if that's something that you're interested in, you can go to LaTisha.tv and just click the button that says 7-figure messenger. And you can get in on that. Okay, awesome. Cool. Would love to have you in there, Crystal. Tacinda says, I was a YouTube member and the process of looking through the YouTube videos. I don't know if that's a question, but the videos that are still there on YouTube, there's still a lot of them, and I'm still pulling even more. Like I had to make, so here's the thing with the YouTube membership. Everyone joined at like different dates, and I didn't want to be unfair and like still like have somebody renew when, like, let's say you join on the 28th and then I don't get done with doing all the videos until the 29th. Okay, YouTube just charged you, but now there's no membership. So that's why I was just like, hey guys, membership's going away. And I just went ahead and took all the videos private. So I've been putting out, republishing some of the videos. And like I said, any of them that don't match the vibe, they just won't be there. Most of the stuff was like surface level stuff anyways that you don't necessarily need or that are already in courses that I sell. And some of you have access to that already. And if you don't, there's like, you could have Googled it or like found it on YouTube and other videos. So I didn't find that they were, the ones that won't come back are the ones that are not valuable. There are a lot of really valuable videos in there. This is interesting. Oh, okay. I'm not all the way to the live. Okay, perfect. So that's it. That's all I wanted to share today. I mostly wanted to give you confidence to let you know that if you're feeling a pull, if you're feeling like you sound like everybody else, but you're not like everybody else, and you're just not really sure, like, how can I make myself stand out? How can I do this in a way that feels good to me? Like, there's all these things that we think we have to do. So I'll end on this. There's all these things that we think we have to do. Like, we think we have to set up like all these funnels in order to make sales. We think we have to like have a lot of people on a webinar in order to make sales. The training that I had where I sold, had 2 new clients that came in at 15K. There was like 8 people on there. So it's like, you don't need a lot of people. You just need to be very clear in your messaging. And when you're clear in your messaging, it makes things so much easier for you. When you're clear on like what you're doing and who you're here to serve and how you want to show up, I promise you, it's like a weight. Like, I've been so light and free. And the only time that I get bogged down or stressed out is when I find myself looking back to that hill that I used to climb and wanting to climb that hill. So I had wrote a note to myself. I'll read it to you guys. Because I the other day, if you saw my Instagram story, it was like Friday, I think it was yesterday, where I was just like, I just need to rest because I'm like overthinking things right now. So I wrote a little note to remind myself of like, hey, This is what it feels like when you are doing what you're meant to do. So I called it the vibes. What it feels like when I'm in flow, not comparing, sure of my path, no competition, words flow, copy is easy. I was trying to like write this copy and I was like, why isn't this copy not working? It's because I kept trying to do it the old way. What it feels like when I'm not in flow, well, I start comparing and looking at others for permission. I'm unsure of my next steps. I'm fearful. I feel like everyone's doing the same thing than me and better. It's hard to write copy. Words get stuck. So this was like a reminder for me to say, hey, it doesn't have to be difficult. And if it feels difficult, if it feels like you're stuck, it's because you decided to look at this other hill and decided to run up this other hill instead of going in the direction that you're meant to go and walk down it with ease. You can walk down the hill with ease. I'm not saying that there's not work that has to be done. Yes, there's work that has to be done. I still have to like do stuff. Like I'm a human being, right? I'm a human being. I have hands, right? I still got to actually do stuff. But it doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be a struggle. You don't have to be the reason that things don't work. You don't have to be the reason things don't work. You can be the reason that they do work if you choose to stop struggling and stop like trying to do these things that just don't flow. Absolutely, clarity is key. So super, super excited about all the developments. If a 7-figure messenger intensive is calling to you, like I said, we're going to be starting tomorrow. And I will be live sharing the first part. You'll get an email with the pre-work. You'll get this shipped out to you. You will get all the recordings. You'll be able to come back to the recording. So you get to keep the recordings. And then when I host it live again, you can show up live again and be in that energy and be in the room. Because I really wanted to create a container and create something where making sure that if this is something that we're still unsure about, right? If we're still unsure about the dream and the decision that we've made, then come back and get clarity on that. And once you have clarity on that, you will know your next steps. And if your next steps are investing and coming into the incubator or the Assume the Throne Mastermind, then that's great. If it's not, if your next steps are just, sitting with it, that's fine as well. I know that the clients that I'm going to attract are the ones who are just like me, who as soon as they get clarity, they move because they understand that action is always the next step, right? They dream, they decide, and then they do. So I hope this was helpful. Hey, Jamie. Allison is here. Hello. That is what I have to offer. So I hope that you guys have a wonderful rest of your Saturday, and I will see y'all in the next one. Okay, bye.